Okay, so what's the deal on this sword? Well, I bought this sword 2 years ago, but I ordered it from a forge in Longquan. But just the other day I saw the exact same sword being sold on Amazon, right? So now you don't have to wait like a month or two for it to arrive. You can order it and you'll probably get it in a few days, right? So I decided to do a video on the sword. This is sold as the King Arthur sword. The blade length is 35.4 inches. The overall length is 49 inches. It weighs 3.2 pounds. It is a high carbon steel. I believe it's 1095, just based on my personal experience. The HRC is 60. Comes with a leather sheath. Mine did not come with a stand, but this seller sells it with a stand, the current seller. And it was $160. Now, if you're wondering what's the difference between this sword and the previous sword that I reviewed, well, mainly it's the length of the handles and the pommel, right? So this sword has a pommel like that, and the previously reviewed medieval sword has that type of pommel, right? So if you're interested in that other sword, check out my last sword video before this. I'll include a link. I like this style of sword. You know, katanas get all the love on the internet, but I like all types of swords from all cultures. These are pretty deadly, I gotta say. Off with its head! There you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Now YouTube, if you like stuff like this, go ahead and leave a comment, because that ups engagement, which in turn actually helps circulate the videos, which then inspires me to keep making them for you. So go ahead and tell me, what is your interest in swords? All right, here's a close-up look at the pommel, right? The handle and the crossguard. It's very difficult to portray how deadly a sword of this type of design can be. I mean, it can thrust through an enemy with ease, but it can also take a head right off, and there's a lot of other techniques, right? Different HEMA techniques. The long handle and the pommel allow for a wide variety of HEMA techniques. How sharp does it come? Well, it's not like shaving sharp. However, it's sharp enough for what we're going to do. And even if it had no edges at all, it's just so deadly because it can go through an enemy with ease. Now this blade does have a bit of spring to it, which is good, because this is so long that if it didn't have some spring, there would be a danger of it breaking, right? So let me see if I can show you. You see how it can bend, right? So that's on purpose. That just makes the sword more durable. Came with this scabbard, stitched leather. It's got a strap right there, retaining strap there. All right, so that's a scabbard. So yeah, all in all, it's a very interesting historical piece if you're like me and you collect weapons of all types and you study blade arts. Personally, I do Filipino martial arts, and I am Filipino, but we love all kinds of blades, right? It's all about angles of attack, I grew up with those Conan movies, right? Conan, Red Sonja, Excalibur. And when I was 10 years old, you know, I wanted to be the hero who had the sword, right? So now that I'm 50, I buy myself stuff like this and enjoy it for what it is. What are my final thoughts on this sword? Well, I mean, I think you know if you collect things like this, right? You know if you need a giant sword. A lot of people like this stuff, and I can see why. When I was a kid, my dad was really into that movie Excalibur. So do I feel it was worth the price? I mean, assuming that you're the type that collects this stuff, right? Maybe you do HEMA, or maybe you just love the history of swords. If you're into this stuff, do I think this is worth it compared to the other stuff out there? Yes. Overall, for the price, if you need it to be super sharp, you can always sharpen it yourself. Yeah, so subscribe if you enjoy this type of stuff. I certainly do, and we'll continue making all sorts of weapon collection videos for you. And the traditional cutting of the pineapple, which has kind of become a part of these videos. No, I think people like to know I'm not going to waste it. This will be good eating. Gotta wash this off. Alright, so we have a nice store of the pineapple for all this week.